going on, guys? Ace FMO Media here. We have Michael Brue on the podcast, who has quite the career in real estate. That has done just about everything. Is the author, right, of two best-selling books, which is awesome. He's grinded it out, has a really, really great story. So really wanted to have him in here. He is 17 plus years, family man, 3 kids, right? I believe, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And has really became the mayor, as you call it, right? It's kind of like really crushed it in the Southeast Florida region and really to all of Florida, I would say now. So really wanted to kind of pick his brain on today's call and really kind of do a deep dive into where the real estate market is going, right? Do I sell now? Do I wait? If I'm an agent getting started off, how do I not make some of the mistakes he made? If I'm a buyer, do I wait until the correction happens? You know, what do I do here? So wanted to pick his brain, but I thought what I would really start off with discussing with Mike, because he's had quite an extensive career, was maybe just like a real quick overview of his, you know, from beginnings to kind of where he's at now. Because I know at one point you were managing 1,000 plus agents, right, Mike?
Yeah. So my quick background was, my former life, I managed one of the largest firms on the eastern seaboard of Florida. We had 7 locations. We had about 1,200 agents at our peak. It was massive growth all the time, growth, growing agent count. And that was like 17 years in that past life. And that past life's behind me now. So I'm like kind of, back in general population, and I'm selling again, and I'm super excited about it. I think I retired for like a month, and then I was bored to death, and I was like, I can't do this. There's a couple things that I love to do, and I did them for a little bit, but you get bored. So I got back into the game, and so now I'm selling. I'm with Compass, and things have been amazing.
So obviously you're an expert in what you do. I don't need to bring that up, but if I'm somebody, maybe coming in, interacting with this video or content for the first time, why you? Why Mike? Over all the agents that are out there, because there's so many of them.
Man, there's so many great agents that you can connect with. There's so many not great agents that you should be definitely afraid of, but there's massive amount of great agents. Why me? You know what? I'm kind of an acquired taste. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be raw. I'm going to be authentic. But I think that the thing that people would pick me the most is I'm effective. I get it done. So if you need something done, especially in a market where nobody can get things done or very little people can get things done, you're going to need somebody like me to navigate those waters and specifically help you buy the absolute best buy, or specifically help you sell and get the absolute maximum and just make it seamless in the process.
Now, Mike, is there anything you see happening maybe pretty exclusive to the Florida area, different from the rest of the country, or what would you kind of say on that?
Well, yeah, I think Florida's being blessed. There was a lot of blessings inside of COVID, and I think we've got blessed the most. So we are in what I would call the perfect storm, kind of like that movie, right, where things are coming in from the left, coming in from the right, coming in from top, south. So we actually have people who are moving here in massive amounts. Like it's hard for us to even keep up with inventory we've basically run out of. So now we're all getting creative to create new inventory. And in creating inventory on the fly is like laying a railroad track as you're driving on it. So we have all the people from up northeast. We have the people from out west. We have the people from south of us. And then, of course, we have the European markets that's about to open back up. So where does everybody want to be? They all want to be in Florida. I can't really tell you. I don't know how far this is going to go or how viral this is going to go. What I refer to our spot in Florida is, but I think if you could figure it out, if you say spot a couple times, I think we're the spot in Florida because we're Jupiter Palm Beach Gardens.
What would you say? And everybody has their own opinion on this, but where do you see, Mike, from your experience? Where's the market going the next 3, 6, 12 months? What do you see this evolving into, between interest rates, lack of inventory? What do you think? I mean, it's a guessing game at this point, but you do have extensive experience in this. So I want to hear what you have to say about it.
So I'm not Nostradamus by any means, but I'm going to give you my best Mikeism is what I would call it. But I think you're right. We have the lowest interest rates that we've ever seen in the history of our lives. Actually, most of us have been alive. This is the lowest they've ever been. I don't know that we're going to see these again. And I guess the $1 million question is how long will it last? Coupled with the massive amount of influx of buyers, which is also creating a massive amount of influx in people here. So when you figure out you can sell for the most amount of money you're probably ever going to see in your lifetime for your property, you're really going to consider to sell. Well, when you sell, you got to reallocate the asset and take the money, move it over and buy something else, invest elsewhere. So we've got this like perfect swirl. It's like a hurricane inside of a tornado going on at the same time. And how long is it going to last? I don't have a whole prediction on this, and I'm the optimist. So I'm usually Pollyanna Mike, and I'm telling you that everything's going to be amazing and it's never going to crash. But I think that most people feel that we've got somewhere between 6 and 14 months to clear the inventory supply and demand challenge that we're currently having. And really what we're having in Florida is a supply and demand thing. And to give you the best analogy I can give on that, ACE is if you remember what it was like to buy toilet paper in March, April of like 2020, that's what it's like to have real estate right now in South Florida and in most of our parks down here.
Got to hoard up on the toilet paper.
Or hoard up, grab you some real estate. Yeah.
What advice would you have? So if on the other side of it, obviously, if you're a seller, it's your game, right? Everybody's paying top dollar. But if I'm a buyer, you know, what recommendation do you have for me? I'm just average Joe. I'm making average salary. Like, what am I supposed to do here? I'm taking my little bit of money I have saved. Do I get in the game right now? Do I wait? Like, what recommendations do you have?
You get in the game, and you get in the game right now, because although inventory will slow and I think things will pause and they'll hit like lulls, what I call them, I don't think we're going backwards. I think we're only going forwards from here. So the best advice I could give you, if you were a brand new buyer to this market, it can still get done, but you got to get somebody good. So you got to figure out who's the best of the best, who can actually get it done. I actually get clients referred to me from other realtors who just can't seem to get it done in this market because they know I'll figure out a way. I will make that thing happen one way or another. We are going to hunt, we're going to find it, we're going to make it happen. So my best advice, no matter where you are in the country, no matter where you are in Florida, find who that is. Find he, she, them, those who are the ass kickers in their realm and do business with them.
It's all about who you know and who you're working with, right? I mean, that's the biggest thing.
It's going to come down to connections, large in part right now.
Now, Mike, and now taking like a different perspective, because even a couple of people I know, you know, they're seeing with the market being a little bit crazy, and agents that know what they're doing, right? They have the experience, they have the networks, they're not just stepping brand new into the game, right? So like you have a lot of referrals, I'm sure, Mike, you've been in the game a while. People know, they know your name in the area, they trust you. But if I'm the new guy, just got my license, because I'm seeing some people killing it, right? Like what do you have for a recommendation for someone just getting in the game, maybe 6 months, 12 months, 18 months? And we know the numbers, right? If you're not in the top 5% of agents, you're probably not making much, you know, as far as money goes. So what recommendations do you have for the new man or woman just entering the real estate game right now?
Well, I'd actually have two. I wrote the book on one of them. I would focus heavily on listings, even though it's going to be a little bit slower to start. It's going to be a little tougher. But you got to get good at getting comfortable with you and asking them for the business. So I would go after the listing side of the business, because that's where, you know, right now you're holding the gold. Number two, you need to focus on your sphere of influence. And that's just simply the people that know you, like you, trust you, would do business with you. Because A, if you don't focus on them, somebody else will. And maybe they'll end up in the wrong hands, and maybe something not so good will happen to them. But B, that's going to bear the most fruit. It's time tested. And even in today's market, when it's super, super hot, you need to be taking care of your people first. So my thing to a brand new agent, somebody new stepping on the scene, pay attention to your people and take care of them first and go deep.
Good advice, man. Good advice. Big question for you. So Mike, you actually have a big conference coming up on June 19th, right? You have the summit coming up there in Florida with Ryan Serhant, right? Which is like the big dog in marketing, right? You know, you got Ryan Serhant on the East Coast. You got guys like Josh Altman, right, on the West Coast. What's the story behind that? How'd you connect with Ryan, or like how did something like that even happen?
Yeah, so I fell into that one. Let me tell you, I don't follow a lot of people because they're just not my stilo. They're not my style. I can't get down with them. I hear them talking and they're blah, 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 blah. And when Ryan speaks, he speaks to me. I feel like I'm in church and he's singling me out and he's giving me like the sermon of the day. So I actually do follow him. I've been following him for years. I don't even think he knows, so please don't tell him, because I don't know how that day is going to go. But we didn't necessarily connect, him and I. Other people's connected us to the event. So Ryan's the main speaker and he's the main show, and he's who you should come out and see, because that guy is laying it down. He's laying it down in New York City in a time where New York City is not, necessarily like, the attractive magnet that it's always been. So he's a marketing genius. He's the guru. He's, number top 10. In my mind, he's probably number 1, 2, or 3. But I get to open for him. So, yeah, I'm super excited about the event. Of course, I'm going to be there. And I think all the cool kids and most of the people in real estate that want to go to the next level. And I'm not talking about like I want to do 4 or 5 deals this year. You want to do 40 million, you want to do 50 million, you want to break that $100 million ceiling. Well, then you need to be listening and tuning into people like Ryan Serhant.
That's awesome. Words of wisdom right there. Ryan is definitely the man and a master of marketing for sure. His YouTube content, he's all over the place. And obviously we connect. I know we work with you on marketing through FMO media. And that's a good question. How do you see first of all, what value do you place on marketing personally? And how do you just see marketing in general impacting the real estate market from where it was to where it is to where it's going?
I think this is a brilliant question, probably more brilliant that you asked it, because before I met or got introduced to FMO Media, I don't think I actually thought twice about marketing. I'm a grassroots guy. I'm a bull in a china shop. I'm usually get it done, make it happen, figure it out. I just kind of do it on the fly. And FMO has kind of changed my world. They've changed the way that I look at media. And I think that in a very short period of time that I've been actually partnered with those guys, they have definitely changed my trajectory in real estate. I mean, I'm already doing probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 deals I can attribute out of the gate to just my change up in the media presence. And I think that social media, I'm learning because that's not like my wheelhouse per se, but I'm seeing that if you're going to get the younger generations, especially, and even like my target audience, I'm not necessarily that younger generation anymore. I was for years, but now I'm kind of like the old lion, to tap into that on social media too, because the screen time on social, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram is only increased, and especially only increased over 2020.
100%, you hit it right on the head. I think guys like Ryan Serhant is really it's opening the eyes to a lot of people, right? They're seeing well, this guy sold a penthouse on YouTube. That's crazy. It's nothing things are seeing right now, right?
It is crazy, but he's crazy and he gets it done. I mean, talk about effective, talk about what people want. See, I've been saying this for years, and then Ryan kind of beat me to it. And he's got years and years of experience on it. People want that raw, real, what's really going down behind the scenes. They no longer want the canned script. So the canned script's out the window. So all these companies that are playing in yesteryear's, backyard, they're talking about canned scripts. People are done. They want you off the cuff. They want you to rip it. And that's what Ryan does best. I think he's an absolute genius, kind of brilliant, but please just don't ever tell him, because I got to face him here shortly.
Yeah. We'll make sure to release this after the summit.
He'll probably like it because, he is the guy. He's actually inspired me and kind of put me on the path and the trajectory, my new path that I'm on. So yeah. Super excited.
Your business that you're in right now today, if I'm an agent, are you someone that's looking to grow your current brokerage? Am I somebody who should seek you out if I was a quality agent to work with? Or are you looking for maybe quality over quantity? Or where are you kind of at today in your current business model? What are you looking for, I guess, as far as being an agent?
Yeah, I'm definitely on a whole new path with a whole new life. If they would have told me this life was waiting for me, I would not have waited to walk through the door, meandering through, bored. I would have kicked the door off the hinges, ran through and tapped into this company and this crew and this machine that we built. I would not have called me 6 months ago. I would not have called me even maybe 4 or 5 months ago. But today I probably would. And yes, I'm looking to grow, but I'm looking for Tony and Tone at the Tigers. So if you consider yourself weak, meek, or average, then, there's plenty of great brokerages, I think in South Florida, that you can connect to that will help you. But if you are it and you want more and there's something more out there, then yeah, there's lions out here.
And last question for you, Mike. I know you wrote a great book. Me and my wife were actually listening to the audio. We listened to you talk through the book the other day as we were getting through it. The 15-minute principle, you want to give the overview on that? What does that mean to you for someone who maybe is picking up your book for the first time and doesn't know who you are? What is that?
You have to understand where the 15-minute principle came from. Yeah. The 15-minute principle wasn't oh my God, I want to write a book. It was my gift back to humanity, to people. And mainly what I really want to connect to is if you've ever struggled, you ever went through a pain point, if you didn't have a silver spoon growing up and you had to fight for everything that you came encounter with, and you had to always be on the attack and you had to fend up, that's who I really want to connect to. I want to tell you, listen, I came from nothing. I was broke. I was poor. I came from poverty. And there is a whole nother world going on outside of your mind and the limits of your mind and what you were previously fed. And what I did was I just scientifically broke it down to a 15-minute principle. And that was with me when I was a kid, but that came to me again later. It was actually born from my CrossFit. And you have to read the book if you want to kind of like, get into all the details of it. But I actually believe that that is my gift back to my people. And I'd love to sell the book. So sure, buy the book, blah, 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 blah. But like, look, if there's somebody struggling and and they need this and they want this and they want to be empowered, I will deliver the book. That's how passionate I feel about this book, and how I think that if you let somebody open up and actually read it, I think people who I want to connect to and are waiting for this connection, I think they're going to absolutely love it.
That's awesome, Mike. Hey guys, so if you're listening to this, you're watching this right now, make sure to, if you can get a ticket to the summit, it's June 19th. It's in Florida. Link is in his bio. Please click the link, buy a ticket. Go for Mike, stay for Ryan. and
Go for Mike, definitely stay for Ryan, because it's going to change your whole entire game. And if you're already doing it to it, this is one you don't want to miss.
Absolutely, guys. So get your ticket, pick up Mike's book, phenomenal read, 15-minute principle. He actually wrote another book called Rise as well. So, and keep an eye out for him. He's already doing big things, but definitely keep an eye out for him and follow his page, follow him wherever he is, because he's making a second huge, massive comeback in the Florida area. And I'm just excited to be working with him. So we'll talk to you guys soon.